Hi guys, this is valkayink here on YouTube, and I have a really special figure video for today. This is the G.E.M series Mega House Revolutionary Girl Utena figure, and this figure in particular came out back in October of 2014, and I've actually kept it in box since its release date because I am a huge Revolutionary Girl Utena fan. I love that anime, it's definitely one of my favorites, and I really wanted this figure when it came out. Pre-ordered it, got it, and it was so lovely in box, I was too afraid to open it. But I'm changing that right now here today because I think this figure is so amazing that it's a shame not to have it out of its box. So I'm gonna get my hand out of there. As you can see, it is a beautiful figure, and I really want to get some detail shots for you guys so that you can see just how beautiful and lovely some of the G.E.M series figures are. And here is the base. Of course it says La Fillette Revolutionnaire Utena, so it's in French, and it has the beautiful rose seal all across it, and it's a very large clear plastic base. I know it's hard to see on this background, but it has a slight blue undertone to it, and it even has metal pegs for supporting Utena on this base, and it's just beautiful. I really do love it. It is large. It's about 6.5 inches in diameter. That's about 16 centimeters. It's really beautiful. I love how shiny and really even it is, just coming straight out of the box. It's a beautiful base. Pretty simple, but effective. Here is her sword up close, and it definitely has the rose on the bottom of the hilt, and it has that guard. It has this really lovely metal sheen to it, and just a gorgeous handle, just a beautiful imitation of her sword in the anime, and I just love it. I really can't get over the detail, just the gold paintwork and the scrolling on the handle of this sword is just amazing. I'm really happy to see an accessory like this for such a beautiful figure. Here's a more zoomed in shot on Utena's face, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it with my camera quality, but the paintwork on this one in particular is just, it's masterful. It is beautifully done. This is possibly the most beautiful Mega House figure that I own. And not just because of the character, but because of the craftsmanship in this one. I'm really impressed. One of the things to note on this figure is the way that the hair is sculpted and painted. Personally, I love the sculpt. I love this free flowing, ready to attack, kind of bouncing back hairstyle. It's very indicative of the character. And one thing of note that people do remark on is that it's kind of a strange shade of pink. It's a little darker than what Utena typically rocks, but I think it's very dramatic and it works very well with this figure because the shading is a little darker on this figure versus what we normally would see in the series itself. And I love this shot where we can see her sword is slightly towards camera. Anyway, I definitely want to get some more detailed shots of the uniform because I think that is what stands out the most on this figure. Alright, and as you guys know, Utena herself has a very specific uniform. It's definitely a men's styled top, and then she has these cute little briefs as the bottom. And it's definitely unique. It's a uniform that no other student has, and it's definitely very important for this figure to have a perfect uniform. It's basically Utena coming out and saying that she is a fighter. She prefers to be the prince versus the princess being saved. So yeah, it has a lot of details, of course. It has this beautiful string work, and it has this lining, these buttons, and of course the duelist's roses are always in the top corner here. And of course it has the epaulets. It's just fantastically done. And you might be saying, wow, those are some pretty big cuffs and that's kind of a very full bottom. That's just part of the styling for the series. It's very unique. I really love it. She's got such a cute butt. But really, she is just beautifully done in this figure. I couldn't ask for a better representation of one of my favorite female anime characters. It's also important to note that she has very specific shoes and she is very athletic and she's constantly running and moving in these shoes, and just the shading and the positioning of her on this base I can't get enough of. They are beautiful. And of course, luckily, like I said before about the base, it has metal pegs, so she stands very firmly. I have no worries about lean or about anything coming off with this figure. She's very stable, and it's something you really want to have when you have a figure like this. Look how cute her shoes are in this shot. There really isn't too much else for me to say regarding this figure. Wow, I love her determined face though. She is very beautifully done. Her head does tilt forward a little bit, so she would be better on a higher shelf. But basically, I have no qualms about acquiring this figure, obviously since I've kept her in box for so long. But she is just beautiful. I really, really love this figure. There's not much else for me to say, so I think I'm just going to take her outside and get some detail shots for you guys, because she really is amazing in the right lighting. If you are interested in a figure like this, she can be found sometimes pre-owned on AmiAmi.com. I know there are a few sellers that still have a couple of these in stock. It's been a couple years, but from what I've seen just from eBay and a couple other Japanese sites like Yahoo Auction, she still tends to run about $80 to $100 USD, which to me, that's perfect if you're in love with this figure and with this character. She's a wonderful representation, and I can't wait to get some really stylish shots for you guys. So enjoy these coming up.